5 minutes.
I rise in opposition to this amendment. It should surprise me by now, but it's amazing how folks will continue to get up during the day, during the year, during the next 2 years, in support of the big guys against the little guy. And so the FCC ruled in a way that protects and keeps the internet open for all of us, and we should remember that. It issued an order providing for a version of net neutrality. It allows the FCC to regulate how internet service providers manage access to content, requires certain transparency from the providers about their policies, and requires reasonable management of traffic on their networks. Now, all of a sudden, there's such a reaction to simply setting some rules. While we all use the internet, there are still many parts of this new service behavior that have not been looked at, and where it allows some folks to just overrun other people. And if there was ever a decision made by the FCC that's in favor of the consumer, this is one of them. So, of course, we will try to scale it back. But there are other issues here. I am a member of the Appropriations Committee, and as such, I think it's the greatest committee and the most important committee in the history of man and womankind. But I know that there are times that even we should not take up an issue that belongs to people who are much more qualified and have the time to sit down and look at it carefully. And when I say qualified, I know it scares a lot of people. We're all qualified, but there's some people who pay a lot of attention to this issue on a daily basis. And we have the folks from the Energy and Commerce and Energy Committee who've done a lot of work. And my first feeling here is that this should be left to the authorizing committees to continue to work on. In fact, they've been holding hearings and doing that kind of work. One of the great virtues of the internet, its openness, the ability of so many people to connect with so many other people without interference from companies providing the service. The FCC has been the guardian of that openness and needs authority to continue to do so. The internet has become more and more important in our lives, and we need to allow the FCC to play an appropriate role in making sure that it continues to remain accessible to everyone as a level playing field. The FCC's ability to address other internet policy concerns such as privacy, accommodation for people with disabilities, is also at stake. Now, for members who are on the floor who may be new to Congress, let me just alert you to something. You're going to see amendments today and during this Congress telling the FCC not to get involved. Then you're going to see some issues come back that haven't been around for a few years about certain personalities on radio and TV, and you're going to see the same folks who are telling the FCC to stay out of it, telling them to get into it and control what those folks say on radio and TV. And that's going to create a big debate once again. So we have to be careful what we wish for. We want less involvement, more involvement. We should be consistent. Lastly, I really believe that this should be left to the authorizers to continue to work on. A ruling by the FCC should be respected at this point, and I urge a no vote on this amendment.
Gentleman yields back. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Missouri, a member of the Appropriations